Last month, we had 4 clients inside of our community make over $50,000 a month coaching athletes online. And in this video, I'm gonna show you the exact blueprint that you can copy step by step to make $50,000 a month plus coaching athletes online. If this is your first time here, my name is Nick. I run an online consulting company helping sports coaches achieve time and financial freedom by training athletes online so you can reach more athletes, make more money, and live an overall better life. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I got an absolute banger for you guys because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to make $50,000 a month coaching athletes online, right? If you are still new to the idea of online coaching, this is probably going to be super far-fetched to you. You're probably going to be a little bit skeptical. But for those of you guys that are maybe already have a little bit of traction online, maybe you're already making money online, maybe you're making $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month coaching athletes online, this is going to be super impactful for you because I'm going to show you basically, number one, break all of your limiting beliefs that this number is actually possible for you. Okay, and then number two, I'm gonna show you how to do it tactically, all right? So first thing we need to do is we need to dive in to the actual math of hitting $50,000 a month, okay? If we ever wanna hit any goal in life, we need to start with the end in mind and we need to break it down and get very systematic about what this is gonna take, okay? So something that we're gonna need is, or we're gonna assume is a $3,000 offer, okay? If you don't have a $3,000 offer for your online coaching program, you can watch a bunch of my other content after you watch this one that'll show you how you can actually package up and deliver a $3,000 online coaching program, okay? But this is a requirement. You're gonna wanna charge at least $2,500. $3,000 plus is ideal. All the clients that we have that make $50,000 a month plus charge at least $3,000 on the low end, right? The reason why this is so important is because the more money you charge, the less athletes you have to work with in order to hit that number, which means that you can scale more profitably. You don't have to hire as many team members. You can give each athlete way more attention and you can be more specific about who you want to work with, right? So all these things go hand in hand. By the way, this model is also assuming no back end or retention sales, which is very, 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 very unlikely because if you're a good coach, and you should be if you're watching this, you're actually good at what you do. If you're not good at what you do, stop watching this immediately and go get good at what you do. Go get good at actually helping people get results, okay? But if you're actually good at what you do, then you should be able to retain at least 50% of your clients if you're getting the right types of people coming through. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day, okay? So, if we have a $3,000 offer, then we need 17 new sales coming into the program, okay? And that would put us at about $51,000. Obviously, I'm rounding. I'm just using this big, round, shiny number to get your attention, right? But we're gonna need 17 new sales on a $3,000 offer. That's gonna generate about $51,000 in revenue. Now, we're gonna assume a 40% close rate, which means of the people that show up to a sales call and you pitch them your program, 17 of them close, which is 40%. So that'll be 43 calls taken. Okay, then we're gonna assume an 80% show rate. We have clients that have even better show rates than this. We have clients obviously with worse show rates than that. But if you're gonna complain about 80% show rate, then you have zero chance of making it online. The reason why is because I have a lot of friends in internet marketing who make, $250,000, $500,000, even $1 million a month. And their show rates are like 50%, 60%, 70% if they're really good, right? 80% show rate is really good. And we have strategies, obviously, inside of our mentorship program, Remote Training University, that'll walk you through step by step how you can go from 0 to $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month. You can work with us directly. If you want to learn more about that program, you can check out the link in the description. Back to my point though, 80% show rate is really, really, really good. So of that, that's about 54 calls booked, okay? So you might be asking, 54 calls booked. Nick, how do we do that? I'm glad you asked. I'm gonna show you that inside of this video, okay? Because that is really what it comes down to. Most coaches, once they get a little bit of traction, like they make a couple grand a month online, maybe you're making $5,000 a month online, maybe you're even making $10,000 a month plus online, right? Once you get to that specific point where you actually have some traction, you probably have this process pretty well down. You might even be closing at a higher rate. You probably need to raise your price. If your show rate's above 80%, or even if it's above 70%, it's really good. Some of our best clients have like a 95% show rate, okay? So how do we book 54 calls? Well, the answer is to run profitable paid advertising. Now, you might be wondering, Nick, how do I run profitable paid advertising? Well, I'm gonna walk you through the math behind it, okay? So if we want to book 54 calls, we have found the most effective strategy is to run DM ads, okay? And these DM ads are very specific. They're going after one type of person and calling them out directly. And when somebody clicks on that ad, it starts an Instagram conversation, right? That's how I literally made my first $100,000 month, was running DM ads, okay? They're super, super, super effective. Now, what we're looking for is about a $5 cost per message max and a 3% booking rate, which will give us about 1,800 messages that turn into 54 booked calls, okay? And I think that math actually turns out to be somewhere around, what is that? It's about $9,000 of spend. Now, you might be sitting there freaking out. Oh my goodness, I'm not sure if I could ever spend $9,000 on ads. Yeah, that's why you're not making $50,000 a month, because you can't take big swings, because you're afraid to lose the 9 grand, okay? Now, this is not something that you just roll $9,000 into and you're like, let's see if it works. You want to stair step your way up there, right? You want to stair step your way up there. Unless, obviously, you have a really massive risk appetite. That's what I did to hit my first $50,000 month, right? I just, boom, shot it up because the math made sense. The show rate was there, the close rate was there, the cost per message was there, etc. But not a lot of people have that risk appetite, right? So we need to know that we need to spend $9,000 on ads in order to sign up 17 new clients at a $3,000 price point. You might be like, oh, I don't want to spend $9,000. It's like, well, if I gave you $1, or if every time you gave me $1, I gave you $5.50 back, how much money would you give me? You should be borrowing against everything you have to give me all the money that you have, because I'm just gonna spit out 5.5 every single time. Boom, 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 right? That's how paid advertising works when you do this right, okay? Now, you can't just sit there. I mean, maybe you could, but it's a much higher probability if you follow this strategy I'm about to show you that you actually hit $50,000 in a single month, okay? So, I obviously talk a lot about a sales funnel in all of my content, but I'm gonna break this up in a little bit different of a fashion this time, so that way you can understand exactly what we're trying to do at each stage in the funnel, okay? So I'm breaking this up in terms of top of funnel, TOF, middle of funnel, and then bottom of funnel, so MOF, BOF. Now, if you don't know what that means, essentially, people need to go through stages of awareness. They need to know you, they need to like you, and they need to trust you. And as people go through these stages of awareness where they're unaware, then they become problem aware, then they become solution aware, then they become product aware, then they become most aware. That's when they're inside your program. So we need to take people through these 5 stages, right? And so our top of funnel, we're not even gonna go after people who are unaware. We're going after people who are problem aware and they're solution aware. And what that looks like, let's say you're an online baseball coach who helps pitchers, right? What that looks like is you're going after kids who know they don't throw hard enough, they want to play in college, and they know that there are people out there that can help them on social media. They're just not sure who to go to. There's so many people out there, right? that is the person that is going to buy. Not the person who's like, I throw 85, that's plenty good enough. No, we want to go after the person who knows they have a problem and knows there's a solution out there. They just don't know who to go to, right? So that is the person that can be sold. Now, top of funnel, to make people aware of who we are, we're running DM ads. And then as an option, if you're good at organic, you can make viral type of content, okay? This is usually a blend to make people more aware of you, right? But the goal here is awareness. Make people aware of who you are at the top of the funnel. We are not trying to sell the program in the ad, okay? Or in the top of funnel content. All we're trying to do is make people aware of who we are. Then, in the middle of funnel, this is where we build trust, okay? So this is where we provide free value. This is where we have proof. And this is where we let people get to know our personal story, right? So example of value would be helping people understand something in the process. Let's go back to the example that you're helping pitchers, right? You're gonna say, hey, stop doing this thing over here, start doing this thing over here. It's gonna help you get better. Now, this is not free tips and drills. That does not convert. If you're sitting there trying to make free tips and drills videos and you're wondering why you can't convert your audience on social media, it's because of that. It's because you're the free tip guy. You're the guy who just gives out free tips. Awesome. You're not the guy who's going to actually deliver real value, real sauce, because anybody can give out free tips. Anybody can give out these 3 drills. That is not how you convert your audience. It's by giving out real value, right? And then telling your personal story about how you went through the exact same thing that you're trying to help your athletes with. Or you can talk more about like your day-to-day life. Like if you go to my Instagram page right now, I talk all the time about my day-to-day life, right? And I'm also trying to be as personable as I possibly can in all of my content. That's why I'm wearing a tank top when I'm making this content. So that way you know that I'm real. That way you know that I'm not just this corporate guy who's trying to take your money. I am trying to help you get as much value as you possibly can. I'm telling you all the sauce for free, and then a certain percentage of people are going to want to actually invest in themselves. And I'm building trust with you right now, showing you that I know what I'm doing. There is nobody else on the internet right now doing what I'm doing. There is nobody else on the internet right now giving out this much sauce on how to coach athletes online. So a certain percentage of you guys watching this are gonna wanna come and work with me and actually pay to work with me inside of my programs. Some of you guys out there are gonna keep trying for free on YouTube, and that's awesome. Keep doing that, right? Keep doing that. Good luck. You should be doing the exact same thing though. You should be modeling this style where you're giving away all the information, talking to your highest level client, providing them value, and being as personable as you possibly can. Then you provide proof. Like for example, we had 4 clients last month make over $50,000 a month. Who else is doing that in sports coaching? Nobody, right? That's proof, okay? So that's what we need to do in the middle of the funnel, right? In the bottom of the funnel, and I'm not gonna take credit for this. This I learned from mentor Jeremy Haynes, okay? He talks about the 4 quadrants of content that converts, okay? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to handle objections, we're trying to set expectations, and we're trying to answer questions. And he says there are 2 layers of questions. There are first layer questions and second layer questions, okay? And when I really understood this concept, right, because I was really good at, building value and showing proof and all that different type of stuff. I've always pretty much known how to like get people's attention and run ads and stuff like that. But when I really embodied this, that is when everything started to change, not only in my sales process, but in all of my clients as well, right? Because now people are coming pre-sold to the call. And when you're running ads or making viral content, and it's the first time somebody's ever heard of who you are, what you do, how you can help, there's a lot of questions and a lot of trust that needs to be built up Because let's say you get a DM, you go back and forth with them, you book the call, it's tomorrow. People on average need 7 hours of content across 11 touch points across 4 different mediums in order to make a high ticket purchase. Now, for a $3,000 online coaching program, it's probably not nearly that much content, okay? However, if we understand that people need a lot of consumption in order to trust you, then we need to be very strategic about the types of content that we put in front of our clients on our Instagram and YouTube pages, okay? So we need to understand, what are the objections that our ideal client is giving us, right? I have people that come through my program right now that they'll get like somebody super skeptical on the phone and they're like, oh, I want to handle their objection. Like, how do I handle their objection? I'm like, stop trying to. Stop trying to handle that person's objection, right? I'll give you a prime example of how to handle the objection of your ideal client. I got on a call with somebody who was watching all of my YouTube videos, trying all this stuff for free, right? And then he goes, well, you know, I might be able to just, you know, do this on my own. And I sat there and I went to war for him and I'm like, dude, stop trying on your own. You'll go way faster. He's literally 4x'd his business since joining my program in not even 2 months. And he came out to an event out here in Scottsdale, okay? But he gave me the objection that, oh, I'm just gonna try this on my own. So guess what I'm doing right now? I'm handling that objection. I'm saying, hey, stop trying this on your own. Just work with me directly. You'll go so much faster. You're losing money by trying to figure it out on your own. You are costing yourself time and money by trying to figure this out on your own, right? And so because I handled his objection, he was my ideal client, that communicates to my highest level client, as opposed to a lot of you guys watching this right now are probably trying to convince parents or convince athletes that they need to start training. Like, that is so dumb. That is so dumb. You should be handling the objection of, I'm not sure if, you know, this is really going to make sense for me in season. I love what you're doing, but in season, I'm not sure logistically how this is going to work. Handle that objection in your content. Don't handle the objection of the skeptics. Don't cater to the skeptics, okay? Expectations. Now, another example of like setting proper expectations is making sure that people in your content know that they're not just gonna get a ton of results in a really short amount of time, right? Or, you know, let them know how much time it's actually gonna take in the day-to-day to train with you. So for example, if you're helping pitchers grow online, right? If you're helping pitchers like throw harder or whatever, set the expectation with them. Look, if you're throwing 85 and you want to throw 95, may never happen for you. That's real, right? That's going to repel the people who want a quick fix, and it's going to draw in the people who want something real, okay? That is really what's most important through all this. Now, questions. People are obviously going to have questions. How long is the program? Can I do this in season? Is this only for XYZ people, right? You can use your imagination for what those questions are. But all of this needs to be designed to go after one ideal client, because here's the kicker. If you're trying to charge $3,000 for an online coaching program and people are telling you that you're too expensive, you either A, don't have enough proof, B, don't have a good enough offer, or C, you're talking to the wrong people. And if you're already making a few $1,000s a month online, I guarantee it's the third one. You're talking to the wrong people. By speaking to the wrong people, you will convince yourself that your program is too expensive, that nobody's gonna wanna buy anything online, all that different type of stuff, okay? So this is the blueprint on how to make $50,000 a month online. It is all about marketing and sales. The better you are at marketing, the easier your sales process is gonna be. The easier you can make marketing by targeting the right types of people, the people who you can help better than anybody else in the world. Speak directly to their pain points and invest into the money printer, into paid advertising when you crack something that works, and double, triple, quadruple down on it. Okay, that's exactly how to make $50,000 a month coaching athletes online. If you want to work with me directly inside of our mentorship program, Remote Training University, maybe you want to start growing online, or you're already making money online, you just want to continue to grow it, then check out the link in the description. If you just want to continue to learn for free on YouTube, that's totally cool. I'm fine with either way. I think you'll be way better off with us than without us, but hey, I'm obviously biased. Anyway, catch you guys in the next one. Peace.